Good morning. Welcome back or welcome to Yoga with Ciara. This is day 8 of Powerful and it's a Sunday yum. So have your band handy or don't. You don't need it if you don't want it. And come lie on your back. We're going into deep hips. So come. So knees are bent, feet are flat on the floor, and just begin by landing, arriving onto the floor. Have a sense of the back of your body. How do you land? Let the dust settle. Allow yourself to feel the floor and the support it provides. Nice. And then just flatten your lower back down and arch into your lower back. And as you do this, I want you to notice the sensation in your hips. Not necessarily your lower back, but just your hips. How do your hips move? What's the sensation of the mobility of the hip sockets or this area at the sides of your body? The place where your thigh meets your torso, the way your buttocks roll on the floor. How do you know or feel that you have hips? Does one feel bigger or smaller? Does one feel more connected in the movement? I have one that feels a bit dull, a little bit smaller, a little bit more confused. God bless it. And then rock your knees from side to side and stay with that sense of inquiry. As you rock your knees from side to side, what's the sensation of not necessarily the movement, but what's the feeling in your hips as you do this? So there is movement happening, and what sensations are happening in your body as you feel. So I'm mapping and tracking a continuity of sensations as I travel. And then just begin to, as you move your hips from side to side, yawn into your arms, stretch into your arms, and feel how, when you do that, something more begins to happen down through your belly and your hips when you lengthen through your arms and connect into the yawniness of you. Reaching, imagine you've just woken up. Maybe you have. And just rock and feel. Maybe there's a side that you want to stay on and do a proper yawn. Or maybe you just try. And just trying to yawn is a really interesting process. Nice. Come back to center. Arms down and come back to center. Grab your belt and bring your belt to your ankles. No, to your feet, actually. So they're either side of your feet. They're wrapped around your feet itself, okay? So bend your knees and let your toes touch the floor. And then lengthen your legs up towards the ceiling. And there's a certain amount of pressure that you have to keep applying outwards to keep your belt on your feet. So bend your knees and then stretch your legs up. And when you stretch your legs up, extend into your heels and have a sense of long legs. Bend your knees, let your toes touch the floor, and then stretch up into your heels. Maybe sigh or yawn or just connect into the sensation of legs as you stretch your legs up. Maybe pull with your legs, your feet a little bit closer to your face, and then touch the floor. Maybe you touch the floor further away from your bum. And just feel that. Touch and lengthen. Touch and lengthen. Nice. From here, remove your belt for the moment and then bring both feet to the floor. Bring the soles of your feet together and your knees apart. So the soles of my feet are touching and my knees are apart. And I always want to walk my lower back long by pushing my elbows down and drawing my shoulders away from my pelvis. And when I do that, I have this long sense of spine suddenly. Nice. Just pause there, feeling the difference between your two thighs, between the shape of your pelvis. And just take a few deep, long, satisfying breaths into your belly. Noticing as your breath fills into your belly, is there a noticeable difference between your breath filling on one side and your breath filling on the other side? Nice. Bring your feet together and no, bring your knees together and your feet are flat on the floor and your ankles are touching. Okay, so my thighs are touching. And now drop your right thigh out to the side and then bring your knee back up to center. So when your knee is center, your thighs are parallel. Okay, they're both long. And when your knee is out to the side, they're no longer parallel. Okay, so right knee center, right knee wide, right knee center, right knee wide. Nice. Keep your right knee wide and just pause there. And then lift your left knee up towards you and interlock your fingers and pull your left knee down towards your chest, breathing into your belly. So for me, instead of getting stuck, I start creating micro movements beneath the stretch or the intensity of this. I'm eating bones and ligaments and deep sense of my inner thighs so underneath it, it's a bit like I'm like whales underneath the surface of the ocean. I'm moving through the pelvis, through my spine, breathing with my breath, and really softening underneath and being buoyant through the bones of me. Nice. Bring your left hand to your left knee and draw your left knee out to the side. And then bring both knees back to center, but one leg is in the air, the other foot's on the floor. Both knees wide, both thighs parallel. Both knees wide, parallel, both knees wide, both knees center. Nice. Both knees wide, pause there. So left knee is out to the left and your leg is in the air. Right knee is out to the right and your foot is on the floor. So again, how do you really connect into the movement that you create underneath the sense of the stretch of this? How would you, a bit like the tide coming in. We used to live in Kinvara. Kinvara was this amazing fishing village over the other side of the bay. And so the tide would go out and all the boats would land on the sand. And then as the tide came in, all the boats would float and rise. So be like the tide coming in to lift the boats of you. Feel like any sensation you have is like a boat sitting on the sand in Kinvara, and that as you breathe, you can lift it. Nice. Come back to center. Stretch your left leg long and hold on to your left leg. And then drop your right knee again out to the side. And then bring your right knee back to center. So now I'm keeping hold of my left leg and I'm moving my right leg out and then in. Out and then in. One more time. Out and then in. Great. Bend your left knee. Bring your right arm straight out to the side. So maybe I'll go sideways for this. You'll probably see it better. So right arm is out to the side. Right foot is on the floor. Left knee, I'm holding on to my left knee. So drop your right thigh out until it comes all the way down to the floor. So I do this maneuver in my pelvis where the left hip lifts and then come all the way back up. Drop your right knee out. Feel how you maneuver your pelvis. My left hip is lifted completely. And then come back, land on the floor. Right thigh all the way down to the floor and then come back to center. And my left knee is staying center. Right knee wide, pause there. So my right thigh is on the floor, maybe my calf, not my thigh. I don't feel my thigh there. My left hip is in the air. I'm holding on to my left knee. Now, drop the left knee down to the right and bring the left knee back to center. But don't let the right leg move. Left knee to the right And then back to center, keeping the right thigh on the floor. Left knee down. Back to center. Left knee down. And as I travel towards the right, I'm really squeezing my knee down and compressing into that right shoulder. And then I widen and then this space. So there's compression and then there's space. Stay at this level or lengthen your left leg long. You can either hold on to the foot, your ankle, or if you have your belt, still handy. I have no idea where my belt is. No, I've lost my belt. There it is. You can hold on to your left leg with your belt, okay? Like so. Drop your left leg down towards the right hand. Bring the left leg back up to center. Your right thigh is staying on the floor the whole time. And then now I'm going to bring my left leg a little bit more to the left. Left leg down to the right. Left leg all the way over as far as I can to the left. Last one. Left leg to the right. And then pausing with your right thigh on the floor. Left leg over towards the left. So my right side is really solid on the floor and my left side is hovering. There's a sense of balancing, a kind of a dynamic in the deep of my belly that's finding equilibrium between them. How do you breathe like you're the ocean or the tide arriving in, lifting the boats of you? Nice. Come back up to center. Both feet to the floor. Pause. Now, all I have to do is remember all of that on the other side. So, bring your left thigh. So, have your thighs together, your knees together. Drop your left thigh out to the side and just pause there. Left thigh is out to the side and it's dropping down in the direction of the floor. From here, pull your right knee up towards you and breathe. So find that sense of the tide coming in to lift the boats of you. That feeling of every breath you take, there's a buoyancy or a levity emerging with the sense of the rising from the deep of you, the softening with the breath. Nice. Bring your right knee out to the side. Pause there, breathing into the deep of you. Nice. And then bring both knees to center. Left foot is on the floor, right knee is in the air. Wide. Center. Wide. And as I go wide, I'm really tracking the sensation of something lengthening in my body and it's moving something. And then knees back to center. And so feel like there's a sense of the deep of your pelvis, the deep of your hips, wide and back to center. Nice. Next time you go wide, pause. Nice. Come back up to center. Right. Bring your left arm long beside you. From here, drop the left thigh down to the floor and then bring your right knee over towards the left. Back to center. Come back up to center. I did it differently before. So left thigh down and then just drop your right thigh down to the left and then come back up and keep your left thigh on the floor the whole time. Sorry, there's loads of different variations of this that I do. So I did the first one wrong. So left thigh stays on the floor, right thigh is traveling, right side is traveling down towards the left and then back. And when I come back, I just check in that my right shoulder blade has touched the floor. So I feel floor beneath me and then I go down again. floor beneath me, and then I go down again. One more time. Floor beneath me, and going down. Nice. So stay at that level, or put a belt around your right foot and draw the right leg out towards the right as far as it'll go, keeping the left thigh on the floor. Nice. And then bring the left thigh down. No, the right thigh down to the left. And travel back up. And all the time, your left thigh, left leg is glued to the floor, and your right leg is seeking to go right. Down towards the left. And then seek to go right. Down towards the left. And then next time we go right with the right leg, pause. I feel like I'm really, it's like this funny resting feeling in the left side. It's like I'm just like heavy and like a sack of potatoes. And then also pointy to keep my weight there. And then my right side is creeping steadily, trying to find the connections that'll bring me to the right. You know, is it in my pelvis? Is it in my spine? Is it in the lower back? Is it in the leg? How do I create more and more connections and stability to widen that right foot out towards the right? Nice. Release. Super cool. So, pause there. Both feet on the floor. Nice. Feel that through your body. Nice. So the next movement is called, I don't know, I was thinking Wonder Woman is a word for this one. So lift your left leg up in the air and have your arms overhead. And maybe I'll do this one sideways. So arms are overhead and they're floating just above the floor, and your left foot's in the air. And so you're going to roll over towards the right, and you're going to land on your belly and keep your left foot in the air behind you. There's no exactness about this. And then come back up to center. And then do it again. Left leg stays in the air as you roll over onto your belly, and then come back. And then as I was doing this earlier, I was really swinging that left leg deeply back behind me to create a stretch behind me. And then I was coming back. Nice. Roll over. And come back. Other side. Right leg in the air. Roll over. Roll over. Come back to center. So I'm not actually, like, I am bringing my belly down, but I'm kind of falling down over that left thigh as I do it. It's not a very clear, I'm not like clearly on my belly as such. Oh, you could be. Oh, that's quite nice as well. See how deep you go into this. If you let both legs float behind you, it becomes more intense. Wow. One more time. As always, we're just discovering this as we go along. Oh, nice. So come land on your belly, all the way around, and land on your belly. Pause. Cool. Come up onto your hands and knees. And so you have two options here. One is that you'll come into zigzag, and the other is that you'll come into pigeon. But we'll start with zigzag. So bring your left knee between your two hands, and then come into zigzag. We've been doing zigzag all week, okay? So your two knees are bent, your feet are over towards the right, and your knees are to the left. And then rest yourself down so that your right elbow is coming as close to your left knee as you can. And lean the weight of your body into that left thigh. To intensify, you can bring your left hand to stand and turn your face and your head towards, I think they're connected at the base of the head. So turn your head towards the left. And then I'm turning my chest. So like I'm trying to draw my right shoulder more and more towards the left as I do this. Nice. Come to the other side. So zigzag to the other side. So we're just going to flip it over. So both knees towards the right. left feet towards the left, and bring your left elbow as close to your right knee as you can, and then rest yourself down. And again, you can bring your right hand to the floor. Keep your head low, not rising up. Keep your head low as you twist towards the right with your head. Nice. And come back to center. So both hands to the floor. Just come into your cat pose. So for pigeon on this side, so if you feel like that was strong enough for your knees, then stay as you are. Otherwise, bring your left knee forward and then lengthen your right leg long behind you. Come up onto your fingertips and just wiggle a little bit there. At any stage, just bend your knees and sit your left bum down, and it'll take the weight out of your knees. Otherwise, you can wiggle a bit. You can bring the right elbow down. You can bring both elbows down. I really like twisting here. It deepens the sense of the right side dropping and the left side spiraling. So I'm twisting to the left. The thing that will tell you that this is too deep is the sensations in your knee. Knees, you just have to mind them always. You just go gently, twisting your knee, putting pressure onto your knee. We go slowly. Nice change. Bring both hands back, both knees back. Bring your right knee forward. And maybe it's just one side that you need to mind and tend to. I remember a few years ago, I did something to one of my knees, and for around 6 months, I just had to be really careful. There was a sharpness to the sensation when I moved my knee, and then it changed but during that time, I just went really gently. So just feel that. You can twist towards the right if you wish. I'm just feeling. Deepen your breath. Rise with the breath. Super cool. Come lie on your back, whatever way you do. Land on your back, arrive. So now just arching your back and flatten down. We did this movement at the beginning of the class. What has changed in that movement? Flattening down and arching. Interesting. The side of my pelvis that was smaller and a bit duller feels a lot more balanced for me. Nice. Pause and settle. Nice. So stay there or stretch your legs out long and pause for another few moments. Lovely. How nice. Thanks for joining me. Very, very lovely. Those of you I'll see on the beach, I will see you on the beach. And great, have a wonderful day. And I'll see you tomorrow for another class of powerful. Nice. Great. Have a great day. Ciao, ciao.